So remember, Java is for ordinary people, so we'll be dealing with the other type of loop, which is for loop and while loop, and they are twins. So when you think about beautiful twins, amazing people right here, makes us to like this even more. So we'll do a lot of demo today because that's the fastest way you can actually get it. Now, these stuffs are not for fun. We actually use it to solve a problem. So that's why um, the example is in form of a problem. So what are we trying to do here? We're trying to add a bunch of random numbers from a particular bound to another bound for a in particular number of time. So what we did was we started with the random number generator. We created an object from the random class, and then we started the total number that will count. We started from 0, and then we determined how many times are we going to count. We said 5 times. Then we said the target that our number should reach after counting should be 50. And then we created the while loop. Now the while loop and the do loop, I told you they look like twins. They only have minimal separation. Now the guardian is here. It tells you where to start and where to stop. That's basically the work of the guardian. As far as this condition is true, it will run forever. But the moment it becomes false, it stops. So that's why the guardian are very useful. And then you put your code in such a way that you avoid a continuous loop forever, which is actually very bad. It will wear your system. If you are running on cloud, you've just made Bezos extra rich. Awesome. So, and then we have the the do demo. The do demo is also similar, but while the guardian comes first for the while loop, and then you don't have an extra do um, short brackets encapsulation that puts some of the operations here. What the do while loop does is it's no matter how the guardian is, maybe even the guardian is not correct, it must run the operation at least once. So that's why I call them loops, and I showed you pictures of twins, beautiful twins all around the world. If you happen to be one of them, I salute you. Good. So it's also performing the same thing, generating a bunch of random numbers, but actually here we're counting. The goal is 5, and then this is the number of times we want to count until we get to 5, and these are the numbers we want to generate. And here, instead of, if you notice, the first one we will put the bound as 10, as we had two boundaries, the lower boundary and the upper boundary, and this one takes one boundary. This is very useful into the other thing I'll be talking about is called variable arguments. It's one of the most beautiful parts about programming. Why? Because yeah, you're giving the user the ability to put in as many arguments as possible, and this will help a lot to make your program flexible. So we'll see a beautiful demo shortly after this, but let's uh, quickly put some breakpoints there so that we can monitor what happens while it works. So let's go to the other one and put some breakpoints so we can observe how it works. This is VS Code also have something like that, but IntelliJ is clearly a winner. So we run our application. We actually debug it. So we see what happens as it works. So this is the first one. This is where it starts from. Why did it pick this? Let's see. Do demo because it came first. So he ignored the while demo and it went to this one. So let's count. So what happened here? The end goal is 5. The number of counts is 1. So after how many loops will the end goal be reached? So the first thing it gave us was 8. So we are trying to, so it's in the number is generating. Once it generates 5 and is equal to the end goal, yeah, it stops. So since it's 8, it continues. Our count becomes 2. It's generating 1, so we're still counting. This is the 4th time it will generate. Still not, the random number is not 5, so we are still counting. So you see, the generated is 5 and the end goal is 5, so it quits. Then we move to this one. Hope you guys can see it. So we have the supplier. We have 30 and 40 because I don't want it to waste our time. So total count is 50. Total count is 5 actually. Target is 50. So 32. So the number that was generated, that was total. This was generated between 30 and then it was added. So it's still being added. So next is 39. So the total target, the total is greater than the target, which is 50. So because it is false, it stops. Can you see it? This is the beauty of so this said after 8 loops, the value of 5 was reached, and after 7 loops, the sum of random number generated was 71. So once it reached false, it stops. So as far as it's 2, another way to even make it work is if I delete all that and I put true or false, it will still run. You like to see a demo? All right, let's do it. While true. The only part is that this one will be affected. And then I can now say if it is. So what error is being generated here? Let's see. Unreachable statement. Delete unreachable statement. Loops. So let's go back, please. So save our time. I don't want this video to be too long. I just wanted to show you that, oh, it's true. All right, so stop here.